Right, hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under. And look, what have we got in store today? Well, it's a vintage Boys Down Under scouting video. We're talking all things about this new lad, Francisco Ortega. Before we go any further though, if you guys are enjoying these sort of videos during the off season, I'd be greatly appreciated if you could click that like button and subscribe button. We're trying to reach 3,000 subscribers before Ange Ball returns, so let's try and hit that mark. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you all know, yesterday we covered some of the speculation regarding Mohamed Jeze and his all the news regarding him to Celtic because of all those links recently. But in the last 24 hours or so, reports have emerged of Celtic being interested in another left-back, Francisco Ortega. So first and foremost, who is he? Now, he's a 23-year-old Argentinian left-back currently playing for Vélez Sarsfield in the Primera Division in Argentina. He has also represented Argentina at the under-20s level in the World Cup, and also most recently for the under-23s team at the Tokyo Olympics. And funny story there, he was actually sent off in the first game of the campaign for receiving 2 yellow cards. So that is, so he's definitely a very aggressive type of player. Anyways, having made 93 appearances during his senior career so far, Ortega has slowly forced his way into the starting 11 for Vélez Sarsfield. And while the highlights, they never give you the whole range of a player's ability on the field because, if we looked at the highlights of someone like defenders never really get the full... what I'm trying to say is that, especially for defenders, you never get a full grasp of how they actually play the game just from their highlights. But these ones are actually doing a bit of justice because it's actually pretty clear to see why Celtic and Ange would be interested in bringing the lad over to Glasgow. Now, he has exceptional footwork, which is very typical of all South American footballers, especially those who play in the wide flanks of the pitch, and a lot of clips on his highlights show that he is very adept when pushed into the center of the field. Now, why is that important? Because of Ange's inverted fullback system. When Ange has the fullback going into the middle of the park, they need to be very adept and have very good close control to not lose possession there. And it seems like Ortega has already got a pretty adept ability when having to be pushed into the midfield. Now, as for his crossing ability, look, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but it isn't as consistent as, I'd hope for someone that Celtic would be looking to bring into the club. Obviously we can't be putting in pinpoint perfect crosses every single time, but I would like to see a bit more consistency being added to his game, which I'm sure would improve as he, at 23 years old, there's obviously still room for improvement, but, he is a natural left footer, which is good. But the thing is, when he does cross well, he crosses very, very well. All his assists, he's only had 10 assists in his senior career, but all those assists have come from crosses down the left flank. So he's he's got a great end product on him. It's just about creating that consistency now to really take his game to a new level. And as for defense, very, very aggressive, as I stated earlier, not wanting to give the opposition any space or any time on the ball. And he's also very aggressive in terms of interceptions. He doesn't, if he can see a pass that he has a slimmer of hope going for, he will make all the attempts to go for that ball and try and win it back. Now, in the past year, there has been some interest for Ortega already. Teams like Palmeiras, River Plate, and Palmeiras have all been inquiring of his services. And it shows that Ortega himself is very highly rated in his home countries and home continent of South America. Many view him as a potential star for the future, a star wingback, especially for the Argentinian national team. A lot see him as the future left back for the national team. Now, this is Celtic we're talking about. We don't play in the South American football. We don't play in the Copa Libertadores. But the reports are saying Celtic have already received extensive scouting reports on Ortega, with his main quality being, quote, dominating defensively. So why do Celtic need Ortega is the main question. Now, firstly, depth. I think it's clear as day, depth. We need depth in that position, and not just any sort of depth, quality depth. And would he instantly take Greg Taylor's left back spot? I can't definitively say yes or no because I haven't seen enough of him. He's not one of those players who plays in Europe, or the A League, where I see week in, week out. He plays in the Argentinian league, one that I have to say I have never actually watched a game of football live. So, but it's clear from the highlights there is still talent there. 100% he's got talent. Some of it's a bit raw though. However, a pre-season under Ange, or just, a couple months training under Ange, certainly will help refine that talent. And in my eyes, he would turn out to be more prolific than Greg Taylor. But if I am wrong and my prediction on that is wrong, then he would certainly serve as a great backup, because looking at Celtic's left-back ranks right now, we have got Greg Taylor, Liam Scales, Adam Montgomery set to return from loan, and Bolly Bolingoli. Now, I think Bolingoli, he's set to leave. I think that's a guarantee. We can expect to see him off the wage bill. As for Monty, I'd say another loan spell is imminent. That's my view on it. I think we could certainly see him go back out for more minutes. You got to remember, he's only 19. I think maybe he might have turned 20 already, but he's still extremely young. Monty certainly does. I do think he will benefit most from some more consistent football away from Celtic. But what does that leave us? So if, let's say hypothetically, we do add Ortega into our left-back ranks, that means we'll have the availability of Greg Taylor, Francisco Ortega, and Liam Scales. And I'd say that's certainly enough depth for the left-back spot, especially considering the versatility of Juranovic, who could cover if necessary. But look, back to Ortega, and Transfer Market have him valued at roughly £3.5 million. Is it worth the investment is the question, because £3.5 million is a lot for someone who could turn out to be a pure backup player. But for me, yes, I do think this is worth the investment if Celtic do decide to pursue it. We have the Champions League money secured. That isn't an issue. So money, we should not be, quoting money as any reason to not sign a player. And we need to start bringing in Champions League quality players, because that's how this football club and this team will improve. We can't be just bringing in from here on in average, bang average depth players just to, bolster our ranks in the squad. That's not what Ange is about. He wants to have a second team that can be just as good, if not better, than the first team, And look, we have to be bringing in these high caliber players who can greatly improve this squad, because money, like I said, money can't be an excuse anymore. It really should not be an excuse. I think it's a minimum £30 million at least we'll be getting from the Champions League. It cannot be an excuse, Sure, we can't afford Kylian Mbappe. I don't even think Kylian Mbappe would come to Celtic. He'd choose to stay at PSG, even if we had the money to sign him. But what I'm trying to say is that in order to improve this squad, we'll have to cough up the money. As for whether, and you know what, the money is only one side of this as well, because it's all good and well being able to pay for a player, but if a player doesn't even want to play for you, what's the point in bringing him over? So would Ortega want to come to Celtic? Well, look, there's reasons for and against. It's a new challenge for him. Going on to the other side of the world, he's been in South America his whole life. There is the attraction of Champions League football as well. We can't forget that is a massive pro for any positive for any player looking to come to Celtic. That global European worldwide stage of the Champions League is something that all players dream of playing on. So that is a huge positive in terms of our ability to pull and attract players to Celtic. Plus, Celtic is a team that just wins trophies and wins football games. It's in our nature to just win all the time. And that is a very attractive thing for footballers as well, to win things, and especially win medals and trophies, because winning that silverware, it always looks good on the resume, and it's always going to bring fond memories. Now, why would Ortega not be for the move? Well, like I said, he has to move halfway across the world. If his dream is to become the best footballer, it is a great move to come to Celtic, without a doubt. It'd certainly be a step up in his career and put him on a global stage. I'd say, the South America League, I'm sure there's a lot of scouting, but it doesn't get the same reception as somewhere like Scotland will, and somewhere like Celtic will especially, who have the Champions League football and are top of the Scottish Premiership yet again. But if he is all for it, I say why not? Honestly, I really believe he could flourish under Ange in his system. He has the qualities already, he has the talent. If he were to refine that talent even more, and I'd say give him a pre-season under Ange, I think we could be seeing a new starting left back for our club. And that's just my take on it. Obviously, nothing is concrete. Don't think anything is concrete. This is still just speculation. I'm speaking in hypothetical terms, so don't have a go at me for, spreading fake news. But yeah, that is all from me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of focused, in-depth scouting video, talk, chit-chat patter video about Francisco Ortega. Leave in the comments below what you think of him. Would you rather him or Mohamed Ejeze to come to the club? And yeah, do you think that either one of them, or even Ortega specifically, could replace Greg Taylor? But that is all from me. So leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, hail, hail.